Today's video was supposed to be a timeline in the Naomi Irion case, but as of last night, she was found deceased. And Naomi was an 18-year-old woman who had moved to Fernley, Nevada in August of 2021. She lived with her brother and she was looking forward to having a new life. She worked for Panasonic, and what she would do was she would drive to Walmart each day that she worked, and she would park and scroll social media while waiting for her shuttle to arrive. The shuttle takes her to work and takes her back. But on March 12th, which is a Saturday, in the early hours of 5 o'clock to 5:30, something really different happened. She was abducted. And I'll take you through the timeline so you know what happened. We do not know the cause of death as of right now, but I will read you some documents as well regarding the suspect. And, it's really, really disturbing what transpired. So we'll get through the timeline and I'll read the documents. At 5:09 a.m. on March 12th, just a few weeks ago, Naomi parked her vehicle at the Fernley Walmart. Now, just beforehand, she stopped at a convenience store and she was seen on surveillance purchasing some items. She gets to the Walmart at 5:09 a.m. and she sits in her car and she's scrolling social media. Now, that was at 5:09, and by 5:23, a final Snapchat ping was detected from her cell phone. In between that, at 5:15, this suspect, his name's Troy Driver, and he drove around the median and parked without his lights on. And he is also seen on surveillance, and you could see him walking back and forth and then staring at the direction of where Naomi was parked. Now, at 5:24 is when he approached her vehicle. He then gets her to go to the passenger seat. He climbs into the driver's seat and he drives off. And nobody heard from Naomi since. Then 3 days later, on March 15th, is when they found Troy's vehicle. More about the video surveillance. It says, on the video surveillance, a subject is seen getting into the driver's seat of Irion's vehicle and leaves in an unknown direction with Naomi in the passenger seat. Then on March 15th, they found Naomi's car, and it says that it was found near the Sherwin-Williams Western Emulsion plant east of the Walmart. After authorities searched the area based on last reported pings from her cell phone on iPhone model 10 or 11 that is yet to be recovered. So then they found the truck that Troy was driving, and they found it, according to Naomi's mom, in his garage. He accidentally left the garage door open. Somebody saw this vehicle after there was a bolo on it, and someone called it in. Then on March 25th is when Troy Driver was identified as a suspect. And it says at roughly 4:45 p.m. March 25th, LCSO announced a suspect has been arrested in connection with the case, and a Chevy pickup truck possibly involved was impounded and being processed for evidence. And at roughly 8:20 p.m., Troy Edward Driver, 41 years old, of Fallon, Nevada, was arrested. Now, they charged him with the kidnapping charge because Naomi wasn't found yet. And then on documents, I'll grab that for you. It says that his bond was at $750,000. Obviously, his charges are going to be upgraded. It says in the documents, several days after suspect was charged with kidnapping a Nevada teen, authorities have confirmed the worst. 18-year-old Naomi Irion was found dead Tuesday in a remote area in what was described as a grave site. They said that there was a tip that led them to this, and I did see some short footage about a coworker talking about Troy Driver acting odd and being at some different sites where they worked, and I believe it was called Leadcore. But it says that the body was recovered from the grave site and that it was transported to the medical examiner's office for an autopsy and to confirm identification. And it says on March 30th, 2022, the remains were confirmed as those of Naomi Irion. The family has been notified. Now, Troy's bond was set at $750,000, but that was before Naomi was found. And it says the suspect is accused of kidnapping Irion for the purpose of SAing or killing her. So I find that interesting, and now we know the news. First-degree kidnapping, where the kidnapped person suffers substantial bodily harm, is punishable by up to life without parole in the state of Nevada. And now we potentially know that these charges are going to be upgraded if they haven't already as of the time of this recording. Now, I found some interesting information about Troy Driver. It says that Troy Driver is a Nevada construction supervisor, and it also says that he was involved in a string of robberies after admitting involvement in the murder of a reputed drug dealer named Paul Rodriguez. It was said that this Paul Rodriguez guy was shot to death in the driveway of the Driver family home by his 18-year-old girlfriend, and that was in 1998. It says Troy Edward Driver and another teen stuffed Rodriguez's body into the trunk of his car and dumped it off a highway. And the article also says that Troy's sister was also convicted in connection with that murder. It has a few things in this article. It says, well, he was 17 at the time that this happened, and he pled guilty to 3 charges of second-degree robbery. It looks like he robbed a Circle K convenience store and Chevron service stations. And he also pled guilty to second-degree burglary in connection with a break-in of a hardware store. He also admitted using a firearm during these 3 robberies. And he will be sentenced to 15 years. And I think he got out, I feel like I read like 2012 or something. And then we have this. This is disturbing and really scary. Someone who is just trying to get to work at 5 o'clock in the morning, deciding to scroll, the phone, scroll social media, hang out before his shuttle comes in a town of 20,000 people in Fernley, just waiting to go to your shift, and then some a-hole decides to take what's not his. And doing so, he goes in the parking lot, he has a hoodie on, thinking he won't be caught. And he's on surveillance, and he has his vehicle, and goes up to an 18-year-old who's half his age, stalks her, and I'm wondering, at this point, let me know what your thoughts are, I'm wondering how long she was stalked for, and just decides to go up to her and take her vehicle, and there was evidence in the car that something happened. There was a crime that occurred, it said. It didn't detail it. And then drives off with her. He has his way with her, and then allegedly kills her. Her parents live in South Africa. She moved in August of 2021, like I mentioned, so that she could actually start her life. She was excited to be in the States. And from all accounts from her family, she was a kind, loving person. She loved rainbows. I was reading that on her brother's Facebook that, she loved rainbow stuff. So he figured there'd be some stuff in her purse that would be, with rainbow stuff on it. And she was just excited. The night before she went out on a date. I don't know the details of that either, but that was her first time going on a date. She did that. And then the next morning, she was killed. I don't know when this is going to stop, if it'll ever stop. You'd think with how much social media and cameras and technology now that people wouldn't be, well, I'll be nice, idiot sticks. The only reason why I'm being nice is because I'd rather swear and I can't on YouTube. So, or I won't. But it is so very tragic that so many people are losing their loved ones to absolute horrific crimes. And it keeps happening. So this guy got out. Maybe they should have kept him in. What's failing in the justice system? Because we're seeing things and it's getting escalated. Just in the last 2 years that I've been doing my channel, I've seen it escalate to extreme degrees. Not that it wasn't bad before, because anyone who's killed at the hands of someone is bad. But it's such extremes with children and women and men. And even in my experience of what I've covered in cases, even authorities dropping the ball. Not all, but I know in Justin Evans' case that's happened. This was quick. Thank God they caught this guy. Because, in my opinion, this is probably not the first time. This is probably just the first time he got caught. this guy better not see the light of day ever again. And if he gets out, then I don't know anymore. But Naomi is somebody's sister, daughter, friend. She had an entire life ahead of her. And because this sick guy who thinks it's okay to do what he did and then just carry on like no big deal, I'd like to know where the other ones are at this point. It's tragic. Let me know your thoughts below. If there's any other news, I'll be sure to let you know. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please like and don't forget to share. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.